Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. I spent months ignoring a tool that was right in front of me. I'll Google a public apology. I made a post about it earlier, but for almost at least a year, I've used Claude and ChatGPT and every script, every app build, every piece of research. And I just assumed that Gemini would just Google with a little sprinkle on top. And I mean, that's where I was. And I thought it was just some kind of corporate thing, and just they're trying to get into the game now that they see that ChatGPT and Claude is actually doing so well. So I stopped using it. I stopped testing it. But every so often, I would actually go back and just use it for like some little arbitrary reason, and just to see what's there. So anyway, I stopped using it. I closed the tab and then I moved on. Then last week, I was actually watching a live, and I saw another influencer, and they were talking about their use of Gemini, and it makes sense. YouTube is the second most search engine on the planet. Google is the number one. They own both. They're owned by Alphabet, and why wouldn't they have the research to understand what my titles need to be, what my thumbnails need to be, what my description needs to be, what my hashtags need to be. When I'm building content, when I'm building images, why wouldn't it know what I need? And diving into it, I'm pretty much almost all in now. I'm still transferring things over from my instructions of how I train Claude. I'm still using Claude and ChatGPT as I've always used the two of them, but now I think I'm going head in with Gemini. I mean, everything just makes sense, and everything they're providing, the context window is much bigger. The option to be able to use Google Flow is something that I've been trying to venture into for AI video creation. I had my little experiment over the weekend with Higgsfield. I'll tell you about that in another video, but Google Flow looks very, very promising, especially for someone like me that isn't looking to be like a filmmaker or anything like that, but just something to be able to create some AI videos to fulfill some of my urges of being as a creator. But anyway, I had different documents to read. I had spreadsheets full of raw data, and I needed answers the other day without waiting 30 seconds for a page to load. And out of habit, I just opened a blank Gemini, pasted the files in there, and I typed my request. Man, it gave me the results that I was looking for. Not what I wanted, but the results that I was looking for. Not in minutes, not in seconds. I mean, just like that. It was so fast. And I'm used to that with Claude. Sometimes Claude has been giving me responses that, it didn't seem like it didn't go deep enough. I don't know if it was the model I was using. I pay for all of these, so I knew it wasn't that. But yeah, I mean, Gemini has a lot of data when it comes to providing results for people for well over 20 years. So why wouldn't it know this stuff? And a lot of times in tech, we pick our favorite tool and we pick favorites and forget about what may have been improved in the last week. And we know that it only takes a mere few days just for an app to go from not that good to a great one. And we get comfortable with what we actually do, but Gemini has been able to get me out of that comfort and to start using it. So I've been using it this week. Phenomenal. I mean, I don't have many complaints as of yet. I know there's some things that it's probably not doing. All of them have issues. But the thing is, Gemini is giving me exactly what I need. So, I'm not telling you to go ahead and switch, but I think you need to take Gemini and take a look again, because they've been doing some great things over there. Not only that, but there are a plethora of tools that you can actually use while you're paying for the subscription. The text to lip sync, image creation, infographics. I talked about Flow, and just everything with a Notebook LM. It makes it easier for you to ideate, to be able to be creative, to be able to have that thought partner, that second brain in one place. So, Google's quietly upgraded into a speed monster. I mean, it's so fast. I mean, I give it like massive documents, and it's coming back and just like that. So it's just, I'm being more and more impressed by what Gemini is actually been able to do, and their API for vibe coding things. So I'm working on a couple of apps now, and they're a lot more friendly when it comes to that. So it may even get to the point where you're able to vibe code an app, and you probably don't have to pay anything. So it's just I'm using anti-gravity. That's a new tool that they have that came out probably about a year ago, and I'm really excited about just ramping up and using that and vibe coding a few apps, see how they go. Not no slop, because of course I'm a developer, I'm a professional, so you're not gonna get any slop from me. But it's gonna help me to go from ideation to implementation to get some users to hopefully build something that you can actually use. But again, Claude is still amazing for deep coding. ChatGPT is still great for general tasks. Codex is really good. I haven't drove that too far, but I'm hearing a lot of great things to that. But ignoring Gemini was a mistake on my end. It proved to me that you can't get married to software. You can't get married to apps and the way you do things. Everything changes. It doesn't take long for things to change and improve. So the moment you think you have everything figured out, and the moment you fall behind, if a tool takes 10 minutes a day, it deserves a spot in your routine. Look and see if it's something that you may want to actually put into your toolkit. I think a lot of people have put Gemini on the side, thinking it just, again, was like corporate, just putting a little lipstick on the pig, kind of, so to speak. But they've done some really good stuff when it comes to AI and their models, and they're very, very, very friendly when it comes to their context window, what you can actually put in there. I put so many documents in there to learn, my voice and how I actually write things and say things and do things, and it just want more and more and more. So the only thing, the real thing that matters is if it's solving the problem that you have for today. Don't worry about anything. Don't worry if it's corporate. Don't worry about that. If it's solving a problem, that's what I want. I want to solve problems. So anyway, I'm still refining my workflow with it. So it's still a work in progress. But once I get it down pat, I'm definitely going to bring it back to you guys so you can be able to see what you need to do to be able to improve your workflow, your uses of AI. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you're looking to go from curiosity to implementation, I can still help you, whether it's automation with Make or N8N, Botto, Zapier, or we want to do some more things with Claude Work or Cowork and Claude Code, and to be able to help you along the way or do it for you, hit the link in the bio. I would love to be able to help you. But if not, hey, give Gemini a try. It's lightning out here, so I'm gonna head out. So yeah, give Gemini a try. Yep.